Hey everyone, my name is Rachel. I have a crochet tutorial for you today. It's my very first video. Pretty excited, but a little nervous. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make this little plush gummy worm. It works up in 40 rows. I made this in small skinny chenille. You can make it in a large chenille. This one I made in jumbo size 7, and it's pretty big, but of course that makes it fun, and it's kind of like a huggy squishy toy. So besides the yarn, which you need 2 colors, you also need the basics, your scissors, your yarn needle, and stitch marker, your stuffing, and then your crochet hook. And this one for the skinny chenille, I'm using a 3.5 millimeter. So the last supply you need, and I forgot to mention before, safety eyes, of course. And for this guy, small skinny chenille yarn, I used a 10 millimeter size eye. If you're doing the jumbo size, these were 15 or 18, I believe. I'll write that down when I publish the video, but these ones are a lot bigger. So to get started, we're going to start with the tail color. We're going to work our way down and then do the eyes at the end. So for the tail, I'm going to do blue again, just make it look kind of the same. This is a different yarn, but same color. We're going to begin by doing 8 single crochets in the magic ring. Tighten this up. Fighting with the yarn on here. Okay, so the first one, and I'm actually going to mark it because this yarn's really hard to see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to tighten it a little bit more. Again. Good. 5, 6, 7, 1 more, and 8. So we're going to go right into this first stitch, and we're going to increase every stitch. So that's the first one. I'm going to mark this one again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 2 more, 15, and the last one, 16. So when you're working, I'm going to make sure at some point you flip it, because this top, you want to be on the top. It automatically curl the opposite way. All right, we are going to now do 4 rounds with a single crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to just stop the video at some point because I don't want to make you watch all that. That's going to be boring. So we're going to have 16 in each for 4 rounds. So, okay, that's 1. 2, 3. I'm just going to stop the video and then do it. Oops. 5. All right, I'm going to stop the video and I'll meet you at the end of that. All right, I have 1 row left, so I'm just going to kind of video that. So it's a good flow, hopefully. All right, this is going to be row 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 1 more. And this tail, I'm going to just tuck it in because it keeps getting in my way. Oh, this yarn is actually thicker than the one I used for this one. I thought it was the same thickness, but this one's actually a little thicker. So this one probably actually is a size 5. It's really nice. All right. I'm going to actually put a link to this one in the description because this yarn came in a big pack of like 20 or so balls of yarn, and they're actually really, really cool colors. I have tons more. They're really nice. Each one has at least, I want to say 80 yards. I think you'd like that. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description. Next round, we are going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. And we're only going to do this for 1 row. So that's the first one. Oops, knocked my thing over. 2. Now to do a decrease, it's hard to do on the push sometimes, but you want to bring your hook through just the front loop. That's both. And then the front loop of the next one. And you just pull through both. Now with plush, it's hard to see, so I like to pinch the next stitch while I'm doing the decrease so I know where the next stitch is, because sometimes it's hard to see it. So 2 more. 1, 2, and now we're going to do the same thing. Get the hook through just the front loop. Nope. Yep. And then pinch that next stitch again. Sometimes when you're doing the decreases, they get kind of smushed and pulled, and it's definitely hard to find that next one sometimes. So 1, 2, another decrease, and oh, come on. It's always hard to do when you're doing on camera. All right, should be the last set. So 1, 2, and now just the front loops only for the last decrease. Then, all right, so now we're doing row 8, and for for round 8 through 20, we're going to do a single crochet in each. And we should have 12, so we're going to do 12 all the way until row 20, and that's when we're going to switch to the next color. So I'll film for a second, and then I'll stop and crochet it all, and then meet you back around. One thing I didn't mention was, if you have a hard time keeping track of your rows, you can get like a little row counter, and you just press the button and it keeps track of your rounds for you. They also make a thing that you could write it on a piece of paper, of course, with a pen. That's always easiest. Or they actually have these little things that look like those little push toys that kids were obsessed with a few years ago. Those little bubble pop toys. I forgot what they're called, but they actually have a row counter for that, and those are pretty cool. I saw that the other day, and I thought that was neat, but I know I'd end up forgetting to use it. I usually just write it down, and then I lose track anyway. I have to figure out where I'm at. One of the fun things of crocheting, but then what you make is unique, so, you know, if you're off a little bit, oh well. I just did 2. So I am going to pause the video, and then I'll meet you back around in the row 20. All right, so I am on row 11, and I forgot to mention that as you go, you're going to want to stuff the gummy worm. If you wait too long, it might be kind of hard to get the stuffing all the way in there. So once I get to the end of this, I'm just going to start adding. Whoops. Hitting my tripod. All right, so here's that, and you're going to want to start to stuff it because it's a lot easier. You don't need it to be like packed super full, but you want it stuffed pretty well. That way it holds its shape pretty good. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Start in row 12 right now. And off I go. Alright, I am on row 20. I'm going to do a color change, so I'll jump in and video that. Okay, we're going to get to the end of the row. Okay. So that was the last stitch, so, oh, actually, here. We're going to start the stitch to do the color change, but we're going to finish it with the new color. So I'm actually going to cut off the old color, and we're going to get this color ready by pulling it right through these 2 loops. So if you start the single crochet, but don't finish it, leave this second loop on your hook, and you bring the new color through that. It looks pretty nice. So I'm going to do single crochets all around again, but I'm going to actually crochet over the 2 tails, and that's kind of the way to solidify it in. Oops, actually, which one's the first one? Just move that over. And I'm going to keep crocheting over these 2 tails. And once I do it, maybe 4 or so stitches, I'll tie a knot just to kind of make sure that they are for sure secured. I actually need to stuff this more. So just add some more stuffing in there. There. Okay. Oops. Probably a little bit less. Okay. I really like this stuffing. It's actually not regular Poly-fil. It's from the same company, Poly-fil, but it's like a dry stuffing. And it's made for doll making. And it's really dry feeling. Like normally regular Poly-fil is kind of slippery and it bunches weird. But this actually packs in there really nice and it doesn't get compressed. I don't know if I can find some of that online. Maybe put a link, but I like this dry kind a lot better than the traditional Poly-fil. So I thought I'd mention that. So to do my knot, I'm actually going to when I do my next single crochet, which one am I in? This one. I'm going to go over 1 tail. Whoops, I got to keep that one in there. Put one behind. Oh, now it's not going to cooperate. Put one behind. And then crochet over just 1. So then they're on either side of that stitch, so I can actually tie them together just to kind of make sure they're not going to come undone. And I'll just tuck them back in after. Tail's really short. There, I'll just stuff it in there. And I'm going to keep crocheting. So this is actually row 21. And we're going to do single crochets all the way around through row 34. And each row is going to have 12 in it still. So I will meet you back around when I get toward the end of this, so you don't have to watch me crochet every single stitch, because that would get quite boring. Okay. Alright. Meet you back around. Alright, I am finishing up round 34. Okay, so the first stitch is just a single crochet. Move my stitch marker. This round, 35, we're going to do 2 single crochet and then an increase all around. So that was the second one. So single, single, increase. The last one, single, single, and increase. And at the end of this round, you should have 16 stitches. I'm not going to count them on here, but you can count, pause it and count if you want. And then we are going to do rounds 36 through 39 with a single crochet in each stitch. 2, 3, oops, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I went all the way through. Oh, come on, I keep hitting it too. There we go. It's always hardest to crochet when you're videoing it. It's easy if you know what you're doing. It's easy to do it while you're sitting there relaxing, but videoing it, it's a whole nother story. Okay. Especially when you're kind of hugging a tripod. So we're going to do, that was 36. So we're going to do 37, 38, and 39. One single crochet in each. Again, I'm going to pause the video because I'm not going to make you watch me do all that. So there we go. All right, guys, I have one round left to do with this part and then the final round. So I'm just make sure it's all stuffed up to this point. And I'm finishing this round up with the single crochet all around, and then I'm going to add the eyes. Oops. And the very last round is going to be a decrease round before we sew it off and it's all done. So I'm just going to kind of keep you on here. Just a few left. Okay. And really you can put the eyes wherever you want, but I put them back just a few rows. Like this one I did. About 4 or 5 rows back. It's really kind of where you want to put the eyes. Alright. So, what I like to do, because you have this color change here, and I mean, they never really look good. There's ways you can do it, but I didn't do it on here. You kind of hide it a little bit. But I like to just put the eyes on the opposite side. So I just kind of roll that so it's facing down. Choose my eyes to be up here, where you cannot see them. And I put just a couple stitches in between. I think that looks pretty cute. So I'm just going to snap those on. These are 10mm eyes, I believe. Just make sure you add them on there all the way. I don't use a little setting thing, but I just do it with my hands. Make sure it's nice and stuffed. Alright, I'm going to take off the stitch marker because this is the last round. Don't need it anymore. Oops. Alright, stuff nice and tight. Alright, so we are going to end this by just doing the whole round and all decreases. And we were doing 16 stitches, so there's going to be 8 decreases. All right. And of course, it's going to be hard to do. 1. You can also do it this way where you just pull. It's actually kind of easier. I'm going to do it that way. 2. It gives the top a little more bulk anyway. 3. 4. Oops, keep hitting my tripod. Oops. 6. I think that was on 6. Where's I talk? Suddenly lost track. And if you do an extra one or whatever, it's not really a big deal as long as you can close this gap or this hole up and make it look really nice. Alright, so just leave a little length of yarn for sewing and thread your needle. So fasten off, you just pull the yarn right through. And where do I, oh, I'm using my hand. Alright, so if you bring your yarn needle through the front loop of each stitch, pull it tight, you get a really nice ending seam. It looks very similar to the magic round in the beginning, so makes the beginning and end kind of look the same. Alright. We are pretty much done. So you can look at it and see if you like how it looks. And sometimes you can use your tail just to kind of neaten it up if you feel like, you know, maybe you want to do an extra little. There. I think that's good. You can knot it off or just loop it around extra, however you want. I think that looks really nice. The whole thing looks really cute. I'm happy with that. So, I'm just going to hide this tail. Bring it through. And of course, one thing that you can also do is bring the tail all the way to the beginning here. I might show you that. Bear with me a second. If you want to make that color change look a little bit less obvious, you can always use this tail to kind of blend it in a little bit. So you can just kind of see if you like how it looks. If you don't like how it looks, of course, you don't have to do it. It's just going to be a toy, so it's not really crucial, of course. But sometimes it makes it look a little bit more streamlined. See what that looks like. Don't pull it too tight because then you'll get like a little weird little bump. Alright, well, that looks a little bit better, I guess. Okay, one more. Then I'll just hide that in there again. Good. Cut it off. And then you just kind of push that tail back in. I like to put this in here and just wipe through it. Make sure that yarn doesn't stick out. So this yarn actually does not fray like hardly at all unless you like literally even pulling it off. It's kind of hard to do. So this yarn actually isn't even fraying that much. And it's a really nice weight. I'm going to definitely link that for you. It's like my new favorite. It came in a huge pile for only a couple dollars each color, so it's a really good deal. All right, well, that finishes off your little worm guy. And this one's maybe, what, 7 or 8 inches maybe? This one was a little bit thinner of yarn, but they ended up being pretty much the same size. This one just looks a little skinnier. But I think they're both really cute, and they're really fun. My 2-year-old loves these things. She plays with them all the time, and I was like, no, I gotta use them for pictures. But once I'm done, she can have them all, because I have like 20 of them now. She loves them. And once you pile them all up, it looks like a little bag of sour gummy worms. I thought that was pretty cute. So have fun, and you can make this with any yarn you want, of course. And just make sure you subscribe, because like I said, I'm going to do a video showing this shape and also this shape. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.